Okay, so I'm here with Stacey Pike. Thank you for joining me. My first question is, what do you think of the current level of eating disorder support available in Queensland?
I think there is very limited support available worldwide, let alone just in Queensland alone. There's only 15 beds in the whole of Queensland, with 10 being at New Farm Clinic and 5 in the public system. So it's obviously very limited, and with the amount of eating disorders out there, it makes for a long waiting list if you have a emergency need of help. And even there, so I have been an inpatient at New Farm Clinic for I think over 2 months, and even though I gained the weight as they required, I didn't feel that there was enough help from the nursing staff or the GPs around the psychological side of things with your headspace. It just felt all based around feeding you up all the time, whereas you do gain the weight while you're there, but once you're discharged, you can very easily fall back into bad habits. 2 months does no fix whatsoever when it's been an issue for over 10 years. So,
what changes would you like to see the new government make to improve healthcare for Australians with eating disorders?
Well, I would like to hope that the new government would have a lot more funding towards mental illnesses. It flies very under the radar and is not a common talked about issue, whereas it is a major issue in millions of not only girls but boys' lives, and it's such a secretive lifestyle that it just goes so unawares, and it needs to be there needs to be a lot more funding towards being able to have more beds, more support, more awareness. It really seems that as big as an issue as it is, it really just seems like in the world that it's not a major issue. It's just not really known of as much as anyone that has lived with an eating disorder would like it to be known.
And how would you describe what it's like to live with an eating disorder?
Absolute hell. It's been a very long battle. As I said, it has probably been going on for 10 years or so. It could have started before I even knew. I do think that it probably was an issue before I even was aware that it was an issue. It's taken over my life. It's controlled my life. It's taken so much away from me. I recall starting off just restricting everything. I think I was probably about 15, and it seemed like a quick fix. Like, it worked. It dropped weight very quickly, which then led to other bad habits of exercising for hours a day, cutting out anything possible wherever you can. Food is on your mind 24/7, what the next meal's going to be. It puts so much worry on your family and friends, and it stops so much social interaction. Like, I was just so ashamed and about the whole issue, and I knew that my family and friends would all talk about it, and then I did not. It was like I just pushed everyone around me away, because I knew that they knew about it, and to me it was my secret and something that was mine, and it was controlled completely by me, and it was something that I could have full control over. However, it is just this just a demon that destroys you. It just you go out, you have plans or something to go out for dinner, and it scares you for the whole day. You're thinking about, what am I going to have? What's going to be on the menu? Is it going to be something that I'll be able to allow myself to eat? I haven't prepared it for myself. Like, how's it being prepared? Feeling bad after you've eaten all the time.
What's been some of the impacts, like, on your self-esteem or that kind of thing?
Very low self-esteem, very self-conscious, always wearing a mask to hide the fact that it's an issue, or it has been more of an issue. Health-wise, it's taken so much away from me. It's been my dream to be able to one day have children, and that may be impossible due to the health impacts that I've caused upon my body, going from such a low weight, and having irregular periods or no periods whatsoever for such a long period of time. It has played such a big part of my whole life that it's just such a hard battle to break, and but yet it's still so controlling, and so it's just constantly on your mind, playing on your mind. Your mind never gives you a break. It's 24/7. Even though I'm very, very luckily enough to have a very supportive family and partner and friends, it still doesn't make it easy at all.
If you hadn't been hospitalised for anorexia or had any other kind of mental health treatment for your eating disorder, where do you think you'd be now?
I well and truly believe that I would not be here at all. I was hospitalised for having potassium level of, I believe, 0.5, which the hospital staff could not understand or believe that I was actually walking or talking. They said that I was in a state that I should have not been alive, which scared the absolute hell out of me. It was a wake-up call, but at the same time, it wasn't anything that fixed it. Once I was out of hospital, I could go back to the way that I was living my life with an eating disorder, whether it was restricting, binging, purging. As scary as the fact that, yes, it is a major health issue and can cause, it has a very, very high death rate. It is that controlling, and it is this demon that just tells you that it doesn't matter. At the time, it's like a high, and it's a fix, and it's a coping mechanism, and but really, to be honest about it, it's a coping mechanism for a short period of time, and then you reach extreme lows. Like, I've suffered from major depression. I've also resorted to substituting drinking for eating, which caused major health issues as well, which I was also hospitalised for. So it all resorts and comes back to having an eating disorder. It's caused a lot of financial issues with funding, like not having enough funding, I guess, that put towards mental health issues, a lot of dental costs, medical costs, hospitalisation costs. You then have all your medications that are supposed to be of some form of help, which
aren't a quick fix either.
Aren't a quick fix, or and is definitely not funded very well whatsoever.
So overall, what's one thing that you wish everyone understood about eating disorders?
That it's definitely not a choice. No one would choose to have an eating disorder. No one would wish it upon their worst enemy. It just takes away the biggest part of your life. People just need to be aware of the fact that it is not just about wanting to be skinny or pretty or perfect like girls in the magazines or who you see or what you see on television. There are so many issues that it could have arisen from, and it would be great to know how, what, or when. But people are just have very little knowledge of eating disorders and think it's as easy as just eat that, it's fine. Why can't you have this? Why can't you have that?
It's not that simple at all.
It's not simple, and there's no quick fix whatsoever. And but yeah, it is just very flies under the radar. Looking back from when my eating disorder probably started, I don't remember there being anything at school about eating disorders or being taught any sort of form of knowledge around eating disorders. And until you accept it yourself or admit that you've actually got an issue, it is just such a secret and hidden for so long, whereas everyone around you is probably aware of the fact, but it's just a mask that you wear that is a coping mechanism. Just
it's tough going.
Very, very tough going.
Well, thank you for your time today and for helping to break the silence and the stigma.
Not a problem at all. I do have to say that I do appreciate the Bronte story. I think that was really great to follow and watch that and see how far she's come. To me, that's the only real thing that's been out there that's been available to acknowledge a lot more around eating disorders and be able to follow a story and how far she's come. Like, it should have been a wake-up call a long, long time ago to have more understanding about the issue. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.